Hello everybody, it's Adam Freestone again. Okay, so in this video I was gonna show the kinds of things that I use on my computer because the last video I showed how I get set up on the computer, and so I will show you the kinds of adaptive technology that I use. So the first thing that's the most important is my eye tracker, and yeah, the eye tracker is really cool because look at the cursor, see how it's jumping around. That's my eye tracker doing that, and I'll show you a picture of what it looks like so you can get an idea. So it's really not that big. It just fits on the bottom of your monitor, and yeah, see. So it's really not that big. It's nothing cumbersome, but the one thing I would recommend is that make sure when you've got the computer or your monitor, make sure the bottom of it or the top of it, because you can put it on the top or the bottom. Make sure that it's flat, because I got my screen, it kind of, I got my eye tracker on the bottom, so it kind of blows out a little bit at the bottom, so it makes my eye tracker sit a little weird, and that could impact its performance. So I would recommend considering that. Yeah, considering that when you think of getting it. But one thing that I recently discovered is apparently this is the one I'm using right now is the 4C, but I think they're discontinuing it because I'm having a really hard time finding it. Just to give an example, but but they've still got the 5C, but the 4C is not compatible with Windows 11, because I recently saw a disclaimer that the 4C does not work with Windows 11. So yeah, there's that to consider. But I do have the 5C, and it's pretty much the exact same size. It's just slightly more square, but I've got it. But the thing that's really gotten in my way of thinking about using it is basically, see how my cursor jumps around. Well, there's a setting in the 4C that lets me do that, where all I have to do is just wiggle the mouse and it goes wherever I'm looking. And there's another setting that I don't use that you can basically, if you look over to the right and you have the cursor to the right, it'll only go to the right and left and down and so on and things like that. So that's one little hiccup, and I've got a 5C. I've been meaning to experiment with it again, because the last time I used it was like a year ago. So it's been a while. But the other thing that I do is I mentioned something about that I have to switch the buttons, because my right hand, unfortunately, I can't click, which is really kind of annoying, but I've got a solution for that, which I'll show you in just a second. So I've got a mouse in my left hand, so I'm clicking on the right one. I'm clicking on the right mouse clicker in my left hand. So, but and that might seem like a little bit of an issue, but I solve it by there's a setting with my mouse. Just go to a hardware and sound, and the control panel, go to the mouse, and then there's a setting where you can toggle the buttons. So I got it reversed, and so that's where you do that. And the type of mouse that I'm using is the excuse me for a second. Okay, this is the type of mouse I'm using, the Razer Viper Ultimate, and it's a gaming mouse. And for a while I was kind of reluctant to get a gaming mouse because I didn't figure I had enough mobility in my hand to actually use it, because I can only move a very tiny bit. But yeah, so there's other buttons on this, but I don't have the dexterity to push it. But the thing that I really like about it is, one, it's lightweight, which is good, and also it slides around really easy. Yeah, it slides around pretty easy, and the next thing is I think, the voice. The voice, that's the other thing. So, how you access that is you go to the control panel, you go to ease of access, which I've got another link, and just bear with me for a second. So, yeah, so the control panel, then you go to ease of access, then you click on speech recognition, and click on the stop button, and it turns it on, and you can have it turn on by voice activation, or like go to sleep. But I don't use any of that. I prefer the click because it's really annoying and it randomly turns on by itself. But so that's technically my right click. So left click, right click, and sometimes it doesn't work properly. And so yeah, so I can use that to right click, and also you can use it for typing, but I don't really use it very much for that because it's a little touchy, and it has a hard time understanding me. So if you don't have any issues talking like I do, it's probably fine. It's probably fine, but then you can use it to, I use it to play games and stuff like that, which I'll also demonstrate that in a second. And so use it to say things like press A and stuff like that, but Dragon Naturally Speaking by Nuance. That one's a lot more reliable because it can understand me, so yeah, it's a lot better. So, and the good thing of this is you can put it to sleep, and usually it doesn't. Like if you tell it to go to sleep and then talk to somebody, it usually doesn't turn it back on by itself randomly. But yeah, let me demonstrate that. Go to sleep. See, now it's in sleep mode and all that. And it just types out random things sometimes, which is kind of funny and annoying. But, and I use it with Microsoft Word, and this is kind of how I write my books and everything like that. So, most things so this is probably the most useful thing apart from my eye tracker. But let me demonstrate a little bit of how this works. So I can say things like, wake up. Adam is a author and a YouTuber. Yeah, so go to sleep. So I picked up the Adam part, and then I say YouTuber, and now they had no idea what I was saying. So there's things like that. Another issue I run into is, let me show you this. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. It's the end of things. Yeah, what? Go to sleep. So sometimes it has issues with end, and it'll say and. So, like, wake up. I would like to end you both. Well, it's not doing now, but it does that sometimes. It also has issues with things like tear and tear. Go to sleep. So, I mean, when I'm actually typing stuff, it's quite useful, but because of the issues it has, because some of the issues it has understanding me, it's like it'll mess up on words, and sometimes I'll miss things. Like if I say tear and tear, it has no way to know like the difference. So, in some places I might miss where it says tear. Well, I might mean to say tear something, it'll say in the context of tear something, make absolutely no sense. But what I use is some program like Grammarly, because the Microsoft Word, that correction, what it corrects on the program that can correct things on Microsoft Word doesn't really catch a whole lot of stuff, so you're gonna miss a lot, especially if you're writing a book, which that really annoy your audience. And oh yeah, then I've got this other program. It's called Iris, which one thing with that is, okay, so the next thing I would like to show you is that there's this program that I came across. It's called Project Iris. Well, the company is called Project Iris, but the thing is it's called Iris, and it's weird because I was having issues with my hands like a couple of years ago, and so I was trying to find an easier way to use my computer, and this is after I discovered the eye tracker, and then I came across this, and this is kind of cool, and this is the name of it, and if you're in case you're interested, but this thing's really cool because what it does, it allows me to put buttons on the screen, and I can program to do different things, but something I wouldn't recommend is that this gaze point is basically it's supposed to the cursor's supposed to go like where you're looking, like you just move it around like looking, but it's really unstable and it's almost impossible to use, so I would not recommend using that other than to like drag things across the screen. That's about the only use I've found for it. And then you can also, there's an option to hide the mouse, which I don't quite know why you want to do that, but and then you can turn on, or if you turn this on, you can open things by looking at it. I wouldn't use that either because that's unstable, and all you have to do is like look at something and you'll look at the new tab symbol and you might open like 10 tabs in a couple seconds, so that's kind of annoying, but yeah, you can turn that rich. It's kind of annoying, but well, $50, well, for me $50 isn't that much because it allows me to do a lot of things, because without it, well, I kind of, yeah, I don't really have a choice of that other than to start doing things I like doing. Yeah, it's got a bunch of different options, and you can set up the different profiles, because right now I just have one, but because I just recently formatted my computer, but I just got one profile that you can basically put as many as you want on there, and also you can add as many interactors as you want, which is also basically just the buttons on the screen, which, yeah, that one doesn't do anything because it's not programmed, but yeah, you see how you can do that, and you can position however you want, but I don't know how many you can use, because for me at least, I have to kind of make the buttons fairly big to, one, be big enough for me to reliably be able to activate, because I usually use these to, like, for playing video games and stuff like that, and also hide them, which, yeah, yeah. Oh, and there's one last thing I forgot to tell you with the voice recognition for Windows, is that, I don't know why it does it, or if it's just my computer, but whenever I have it turned on and I go to a website, that thing I had on the bottom left, not the dragon, that usually works fine, but if I try going to a web page, it'll usually lock up and it'll stop working for, well, usually a couple of minutes, which can be a little annoying, and also there's something else I should mention with the dragon, is that sometimes it'll, like, I'll say something and it'll just start, it'll just start messing up and glitching, and it'll also stop working. Usually I have to click on the X, and then go to cancel, and then turn it back on, and then I can continue until it does it again, but that's pretty much everything I was gonna show you, but next I'll show you how, like, these kind of work with video games and things like that, so let me demonstrate that.